Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
Here we are in person again. Now we reserve the right to put Steve in the little box if he misbehaves or
in a box most of my life,
or if it's convenient to do so, because it's pretty convenient scheduling wise. Because you got to drive all the way out here to be here, and it's a mess to set up on this end of things, but it's okay. So we reserve the right to go back into the distant taping.
Well, I noticed that a lot of like ESPN and all those big guys they're staying that way.
Yeah.
It's easy. You have to fly people in.
Exactly. And people are calling baseball games from their houses. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Anyway,
All right.
now we're off track already. One of our favorite beers is New Glarus's Wisconsin Belgian Red.
Indeed.
And I've been wanting to do, if not a clone, a salute to that beer.
I like that, a salute.
And to me, it's kind of like cherry pie, because you get this fresh fruit flavor, and then you get the beer backbone is kind of like the crust of the pie.
Yep.
So this is what I was kind of shooting for with this.
Okay.
And one of the previous episodes, I used some pineapple puree in the keg to do a NEPA, a New England IPA, and we liked that quite a bit. So gears turned in my head. What if I brew a Belgian brown ale and then put that in the keg with some dark sweet cherry puree, which I just happen to have. So
This is what we got.
that's what we got.
Okay.
So I started with 8 gallons or 30 liters of water at 150 degrees Fahrenheit or 65 C. And into that, I put 9 pounds or 4 kilograms of Pilsen malt, 2 pounds or 900 grams of white wheat, 6 ounces or 170 grams of 40 Lovibond Crystal, and 1 ounce or 28 grams of roasted barley. And I mashed that for an hour, collected my wort. Actually, I mashed for about 75 minutes. Collected my wort, and at the beginning of a 60-minute boil, I added 2 ounces or 56 grams of Hallertau Mittelfrüh at 2.8% alpha acid. Boiled for 60 minutes. Cooled down, pitched B48, Imperial B48 Triple Double. The beer started out at 10:53, wound up at 10:07, and then before I kegged it, I put into the keg a 3-pound or about 1.5 liters, that's about 6 cups I think it is, can of this Oregon fruit dark sweet cherry puree, and then I racked the beer on top of that. So it is unfermented cherry juice. So I'm keeping it in the keg, in the refrigerator, in the kegerator, keeping it cool to keep it from fermenting anymore. And word to the wise, if you're a bottler, don't bottle don't bottle a bunch of unfermented cherry juice or any fruit juice into your bottles, or you'll get bottle bombs potentially.
Cherry bombs.
There you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Has a nice pinkish hue on the head.
It's pretty. I mean, it's opaque.
It is opaque. It smells of cherries.
It's good. It's really good.
Now it's not Wisconsin Belgian Red.
No, if I'm comparing it, this to me has a little bit more hop bite. And I don't get that big bread crust.
Exactly.
That's the two differences. The fruit's there, to me.
Right.
The fruit, you got the fruit. I won't say. See, this is going to sound like I'm criticizing, but I'm not. It's just different.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's not criticism.
Criticism's not bad necessarily.
Well, it's just different. But there's a little bit of a hop bite that I don't remember in the New Glarus.
Right.
And then that big pie crust. And that's the two things that aren't quite there in this beer. That doesn't mean this beer isn't really good, because it is. But that's the things that are different. Wow. But you should be proud of this, because it's really tasty.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's sessionable. Although I could drink a bunch of that Belgian red in a hurry.
Well, this is very good.
This came out to be 6% alcohol. Started out at 10:53, as I said, finished at 10:07. So the beer itself, I think, is not as big as it needs to be to stand up to all those fresh cherries. I think if it finished higher, because it finished at only 10:07, as I said,
Yeah.
if it finished higher and was maybe a bit more alcohol, I think it would be a better pairing with all that fresh fruit. I mean, that's a bunch of fresh fruit to pair on there. But like you said, it is good.
No, it's perfectly good. It's really good.
A couple things. I based this recipe off of a recipe that I found on the American Homebrewers Association website, although I tweaked it, I tweaked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But that was the inspiration for it. There's tons of good recipes on there. If you're not a member of the AHA, you should be. There was about 3 or 4 maybe pints of kind of not sludgy, but chunky beer before it started pulling as clean as it did. But on the pineapple beer, there's still some left in the keg upstairs, and I've yet to have a clogged dip tube from it, so that's a good thing. So I'm having hopes that we won't have any problems from this either.
Wow, this is delicious. I think it's nice and warming. Get a little verklempt. This is good. This is good. This is really good.
I don't get a whole lot of the Belgian character from the yeast. It's probably masked by all that, the dark sweet cherry.
I'm kind of okay with that though. I think it tastes really good. I mean, I didn't even think about that.
So I've got a couple more cans of the fruit. One idea I want to do is a hard seltzer. Take another run at a hard seltzer and put some fruit in the keg with that. So, and then there's one that's passion fruit, which may be headed for like a mead or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway.
What's the Great British Baking Show? They're all about passion fruit. I'm doing a passion fruit bakewell.
You just don't want a soggy bottom.
You don't want to.
Well, all right.
Okay.
Well, that's a fun beer.
It really is. I could drink a bunch of this.
And you may have the opportunity in just a moment. All right. Happy brewing, everybody. We'll play with fruit in your beer. We'll talk to you next time. Come and visit us online. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs and our Brewer's Logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. If you're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, stop by Steve's Brew Shop or find him online at stevesbrewshop.com. It's almost like, it's not a beer cooler, but it's on the way, on the way to a beer cooler. Just because the fruit is
real desserty.
So, yeah.
I think it can become cloying after a while. There's so much sweet. It's so sweet. But I like it. It's just it's like this is dessert. Put a scoop of ice cream in there.
Ooh.